Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to make a faux glass focal bead, or you could just use it as a pendant, whichever. It's very simple, very straightforward. What you're going to need is some black clay. I've got some black Premo here. You just need, I don't know, half a block. And then I've also got this Cernit Opaline in the Apricot colour, and roughly the same amount of that as the black-ish, maybe a little bit more of that. I don't have a great deal left, but that's enough. And so they're the clays you're going to need. That's it. And then you're going to need some liquid clays as well. So I'm going to be using black, whatever colour this is. I think it's bronze. The writing's so small I can barely see it, but I think it's bronze or gold. It doesn't really matter which. I've got some white here. This is the pearl white. You could just use regular white if you wanted. And some silver. And I might use this translucent blue or whatever colour this is. Again, I can't see it. Translucent something. Anyway, just some liquid clays, colours of your choice, but they're the colours I'm going with. And probably maybe some kind of embellishment as well. So I'm probably going to go with some coloured glitter resins maybe. I've not fully decided yet. But I've got these coloured glitter resins that you can get from my Amazon storefront. Not that one, that's not a glitter one. Yeah, this one as well. So we'll see. But you basically need some clay and some liquid clay. Okay? And all I'm going to do is quite simply condition both these blocks and keep them in a block form. So I'm going to go and do that off camera. I'm just going to make sure these are nice and conditioned and form them into little tidy square blocks. All right, I've got these into 2 little square blocks. It's as simple as that, really. We're going to stack them one on top of the other and make a stack like that. It's as easy as that. But before we do that, I'm just going to add a little bit of patterning inside this. So I'm just going to quite simply cut open in a few little places like so, and just add a little bit of this bronze or copper or whatever it is, gold, I don't know. It doesn't really matter, gold, copper, bronze would work fine. And then just piece it back together. And I'm just going to do, you know, in random places, a few little cuts like that. And it's just going to add a little bit of pattern on the inside. Like so. Yeah, so I didn't get a video out last week. I was going through a I don't know what to make kind of situation, and everything I did try and make just didn't work out at all. And I go through phases like that. I just kind of lose my creativity a little bit, and it's a bit frustrating, guys, to be honest, especially when you're trying to get a video out every week. Unfortunately, I just could not do it. So sorry that I didn't get one out last week. Hopefully my mojo's returned. So I have got this one for you today, obviously, and I have got another one lined up because I eventually figured a couple of things out, but it gets very difficult knowing what to do week in, week out, and trying to make it a bit different. And I sometimes feel that my videos are a bit samey, and I probably shouldn't worry about that, but I do. And you know, we've all got our own styles, so my style is my style. But I try and come up with something for you, and this is what I'm doing today. So when you've added your little cuts in your gold liquid clay, just push it all back together. It's as simple as that, guys, for this part anyway. I'm just making sure it's nicely squashed together. And then I'm quite simply just going to pop that on top of the black. Let's kind of make it a little bit more equal than that, of course, and just form it into one block. Now the other thing you could do is just take individual slices if you wanted to, but why do 2 slices when you can just do the one? All right, so I'm just going to keep on forming this, make sure it's pretty well stuck together. Like so-ish. And that'll be good enough because it's going to get burnished. But I'm just lumping those 2 blocks together. It's as easy as that. That's basically the background of the pendant, so to speak, or the focal bead, or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to take fairly thick slices, like so, and that'll be 1 pendant. I'll just do a couple of pendants. That looks like a loaf of bread. Burnt at the bottom. Stick. And then I'm just going to take another slice. I'll just do 2 pendants, guys. I don't need to do more than that, really. Okay, so obviously it depends on how thick you cut your pieces, but this one's extra thick. All right, so once you've done that, it's just a question of making sure it's all stuck together, deciding which cutters you want to use, giving it a little roll, just to roll it out a bit, because you need to make sure that your cutter's going to fit. And I'm going to be using this one from Apricot Creations. I will leave a description, I will leave a link in the description, and I'll also, please check out the pinned comment as well, because there's information in there. It's identical information to the description, but some people don't know how to find that, although I do state at the beginning of the video how to find the description. Anyway, I'll be linking her shop, Apricot Creations, and I've also got this cutter from Kaylee and Clay. Now, she's based in England, so if you're in England, she's ideal. She's so sweet, and she sends me all these cutters, and they're gorgeous. And then if you're in USA, you've got Apricot Creations, and if you're in Australia, you've also got Debbie from Aussie Crafts. I will leave all their shop links in the description and the pinned comment, guys, along with my Amazon storefront, and also Blueberry Beads, where I get my clay from, and my liquid clay, and my Cernit alcohol inks and all that kind of thing. Everything else is in my Amazon storefront, so it might be the resin or mica powders, or, you know, tools, all that good stuff. Okay, so when you've rolled it out, going to make this a little bit flatter down here. I've got it fairly level, I think, but you can always use some measuring sticks, which I will show you. These things, you can get these from Apricot Creations as well, and these are the 3mm ones. Mine's a little bit thicker than that because I want it more chunky, but if you want to roll it out to 3mm, these will take you down to that, and you know you've got a level piece. All right, so I'm just going to cut into this after I've given that a little bit of a burnish, actually. Just give it a bit of a burnish, just to smooth it out. And a little bit of a clean with some isopropyl, aka rubbing alcohol, and a wipe, just to make sure it's nice and clean. And it's as simple as that. I'm just going to cut this out. Give it a little wiggle. Lift this away, the excess away. And that's that first pendant, the first stage of it. Obviously that needs to get baked, so I will be baking this for an hour at 275, which is Premo's recommended curing temperature. Cernit is a little bit lower, but that's fine. You can mix clays, you just need to bake at the higher curing temperature to make sure the Premo or whatever cures. And then I've got this one, give that a roll. a little bit of a crack in that. Perhaps didn't condition it well enough. Give it a little mush, a little smooth. And I'm going to use this cutter from Kaylee and Clay because I like it. I'll be using more of her cutters probably in my next video. I'm just going to be using this one for today. She sent me a bunch of other stuff, so give it a little wiggle. And that's that pendant as well. Now obviously I've got some left, but I'm just going to be doing these two on camera. Give it a little wipe, a little smooth. I really love that shape. Okay, so I'm going to go and put these in the oven, bake them for 1 hour. Straighten that up a little bit. Give it one more wipe. Just to make sure it's nice and clean. All right, so I'm going to go and put these in the oven, like I've already said like 3 times, for an hour. And I'll be back for the next step. While they're baking, guys, this is where you're going to need to bring over your different colours of liquid clay. I think I forgot to mention that you're also going to need some translucent. So I've got my Kato liquid clear here, and then all the other colours that I mentioned. You can do this in any colours you want, obviously. But I saw these glass focal beads and I really like them. And it's like, well, how could I do a clay version, so to speak? And this is my solution. Now what you're going to need is a tile to put your liquid clay on, because obviously it needs to be baked in the oven to cure. But I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of the translucent on my work tile, because I'm going to be using a pointy tool like this just to drizzle a random pattern directly onto the tile that it's going to be baked on. And I'm just going to do some swirlies like so. Now bear in mind the size of your pendant. You don't want to make it too big that it's the pattern's going to cover the whole thing, but it's okay if you make it a little bit long because you can just trim it away. But I don't want to have to trim any of the width away, because then it will end up looking like a straight line rather than nice random curves like this. So I'm not making a very big pattern here, just a smallish one. And the translucent kind of acts as the base for the pattern. So it's just very random. You're just making squiggly lines with the translucent clay, like so. I'm going to try and leave a few bits where there's actually little gaps, so it makes it look a little bit lacy. I'll try anyway. So you just keep doing that until you've got your basic pattern laid down. So that's quite easy, straightforward. A little time consuming, I guess, but you know. Let's just bring some of this up here and bring this round a little bit. Okay, so when you're happy with that pattern, then all you're going to do is start dropping in your other colours. And I'm going to start with white, I think. So just a drop of that in the centre, just a tiny drop like so, just to start with. Don't do too much at one time, just little bits here and there, and then just kind of start to swirl that in the pattern that's already there. Like so. You probably can't see too much at this point because it's white and translucent, but that's all you're doing. You're just kind of drizzling it on there and going with that pattern that's already down. Okay, then I'm going to add a tiny little drop of black. I don't want a great deal in the center like so, and off the edge because it drizzled, but oh well. And I'm just gonna start to do little swirlies with this, but dragging it through the rest of the clay. So it's just a random, organic, swirly kind of pattern that you're creating. Obviously I need to do another one because I've got 2 pendants curing, but I will just do this one on camera just to give you an idea. Okay, so there's that. Then I'm going to add a little bit of this colour, and I think it is actually copper, but the writing's so small I can barely make out what it is, but I think it's copper. Not that it matters, you could use gold. You could use any colours you wanted, guys. Okay, and the same thing, I'm just dragging that through, making a few little swirlies as I go. It's as simple as that, and it doesn't look like much really, but it looks pretty good once it's cured. And then last but not least, I'm going to add a little bit of this silver, and same thing, just drag it through. Like so. All right, so I'm going to go and do another one off camera, and obviously they need to be cured. Now you can do one or two things. You can either cure it with a heat gun if you feel confident enough, or you can just stick it in the oven for 10 or so minutes to cure. Now if you're going to use the heat gun, don't hold it too close obviously, and just keep moving it around and turning the tile, because it will cure in probably about 30 seconds. Make sure your heat gun isn't too hot. Excuse me guys, I'm choking on my own saliva here. All right, so I'm going to go and do another one and bake them in the oven. Guys, I went ahead and just cut a little bit of this bottom away, and I don't like it as much because it's more of a jagged edge, but we'll fix that when I've baked it. I just wanted a little bit more of that black showing, so it's fine to cut a little bit away. I didn't really want to, but I made that just a little bit too wide. All right, so again, I'm going to go and bake these for 15 minutes and I will be back. Okay, I cured these again just for 15 minutes, and what I did was, when they cooled down a little bit but still warm, I took the liquid clay and I just kind of held it over the side, so it's actually going down the side a little bit now. Still need to cut this bit away and this bit away, but if you do that when it's still warm, you can get it to curve around. And if you just hold it for a few seconds like so, and it should stay. And the same with this one. So I've got it going over the edges a little bit, but obviously the excess needs to be removed. So I'm just going to get my X-Acto blade and remove it. I might need cutting a little bit more. Get it as flush to the pendant as you can. And I'll be honest, liquid clay is not as easy as you think to cut through. I don't think it is anyway. So I'm just trying to get that a little bit neater. And then obviously I'm going to resin and glitter the backs like I already said. But that's that bit done. Okay, so that's that. I think they look, I really like this technique. It's very simple, but really quite effective. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about this bit. It's not sticking down that great. I'll figure something out. I might have to add a little bit more liquid clay to that. But that's what it looks like so far. Let's get rid of the excess on this one. There's just a little bit more under there that needs to come off. That's a bit tricky. Can't actually get that bit off, guys. There's a little bit here that's sticking up as well, but there's going to be another step which should rectify that. I'm not happy with this one, guys. I'm going to have to trim it off, I think. I'll try. See, it doesn't cut as well as you'd like it to. Okay, I think I got it. That's tricky. There we go. All right, so if it looks like that, you can just tidy it up, but that's cool like that. Okay. All right, now next step then, we're going to take a little bit more liquid clay. I'm just going to pour some on my tile here, just a little, maybe a little bit more than that. Now obviously these liquid clay bits aren't flush to the clay, but that's what you want. You want it to be slightly raised because obviously it wasn't burnished onto the clay. And so just to make it a little bit more raised, I'm going to put a coat of liquid clay, translucent liquid clay. If I can find a brush again. Where did my liquid clay brush go? I have one set aside just for it, but I don't think that's it. And it's probably dirty. My brushes usually are. I never clean them properly, guys. I'm terrible. That's not the brush, so I'm just going to have to make do with this one because I don't know what I did with it. Anyway, so I'm just going to get a brush and I'm just going to paint over just the patterned area only. And this is just to raise it up a notch. I'll probably do 2 coats, but once this is covered, I'm going to blast it with the heat gun and it will turn shiny. Once it turns shiny, you know it's cured. So I'm going to do that. Again, don't hold it too close. You can just put it back in the oven if you want to, but the heat gun, the intense heat is what brings out the shine of Kato liquid clay. Now, Scorpio liquid clay does go shiny, but not as shiny. So I'm just going to brush that over like so. Quite gentle and slow with it. A decent coat, but not so much that you can't see the pattern. So it looks very milky right now. And I'm just going to take that over the edge here. And I'm probably going to have to tidy that edge up a little bit afterwards. Once I've done this. Okay, so that's all you do. Just paint over with the translucent liquid clay and blast it with the heat gun until it shines. And I'll be back. All right, guys, I went and cured that liquid clay on the top. I did just do 1 coat, but you can see now I've got this really shiny part, but this isn't as shiny, and that's what I wanted. See, it's not exactly matte, but it's not a high gloss on the sanded bits, but this is a lot shinier. Now, I am going to go ahead and use some of this Light Wish glitter diamond, it's called, or diamond glitter resins, and they come in different colours. There's a whole box of them. They're listed in my Amazon if you're interested. So it's basically pre-mixed resin with the glitter already in it, but I think I'm just going to go, shall I use the silver? Well, it's white actually. No, I think I'll just use gold, guys. Try not to get it in this glitter that I've already got on this messy tile. I'm just going to pour a little bit on straight onto my tile there, and you can see it's a pre-mixed resin with the glitter, which is very convenient. And I'm just using my pointy tool thing again, and I'm just going to drizzle it round the bottom of the patterned part, just following that same curve that's already there, like so. And it's just to add a little bit of extra sparkle. I don't want to go over the top with embellishing these faux glass ones. I usually do a little bit more with the faux lamp work, but for these ones they were a little bit more of a simple statement. Okay, so I'm just bringing that round a little bit. Get rid of that bit there. I don't want that bit on there. Dribbled over a little bit. Let me just get rid of that. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to do the same on this one, and especially on this one, because where I cut it, I don't like that harsh line. So I'm going to disguise it a little bit by rounding it off with this glitter, resin glitter. or glitter resin. What is wrong with me, guys? Oh dear, I swear. I get worse every day. Trying to get my words out and everything else. All right, so that's all I'm going to do, I think. I don't think I'm going to add any on the top line. I think I like it as is, or shall I? No, I don't think I will. I'm just going to put a little bit more of it on this one though, just to soften that line up a little bit. All right, so I'm going to go and cure those under my UV lamp. Mine is a Melody Susie's, the one that I recommend. Again, listed in my Amazon storefront. I'm going to resin and glitter the backs. Not using that though. I'm going to use, not using the coloured resins. I'm going to just mix my own. I'm going to put black glitter into some resin. And then I'm going to think about how to dress these. And I'll be back. Okay guys, I finished them. So that's the front. I've just drilled a hole and added a pinch bail. These are listed in my Amazon. Resined and glittered the back with black glitter. There's that one. And then I did the same for this one. Resined and glittered on the back, the same kind of pinch bail. And I added this chain and then a toggle clasp. Now you can get the toggle clasps and this chain from my Amazon storefront. So they're the pieces from today. I absolutely love this one. They're kind of a little bit different. They're not, I don't know, they're a little bit different. I kind of like them. So there's those. And there's another one that I did as well. Same thing, same shape as that one. And I also did a round one. But for this one, when I swelled the clay, I tried to make it look more like a flower shape. So you just kind of, when you drizzle in the translucent, just drizzle it into a flower shape and then add the other colours and just swirl it around. So there's that one as well. Okay guys, so there's all the pieces. It's a little bit different, not my usual colours either, but I'm actually really digging it. So there you go, that's all for today. Thanks for watching and I'll catch you later. Bye.